Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to the Mid-Atlantic Mauling League Spike Magazine Trophy Week number 9. I just realized I'm going to catch it before it's a problem. I forgot to switch over the title card. Let me do that real quick before I tell you who's playing tonight. You're not going to believe it. Hey, there we go. All right. We got our second game tonight of our doubleheader, and this is a game to help determine who is going to advance to the semifinals. It's going to be a big one tonight. Tonight we've got Mr. Yuck versus Elfitus Australis, Wenger versus Eric, Nurgle versus Wood Elves. Elfitus, Australis, and Eric fighting to advance to the semifinals. If they win tonight, they do it. If not, it's going to come down to one more game in this week. Let's take a look at the standings before we take a look at these two teams. Over in Division A, Dead Fred's Real American Heroes. They will be advancing to the semifinals. They're a Dark Elf team with a record of 6-1-0. They have one more game to play in regulation. Nick Satan's Cenozoic Park also with a game yet to play. They're in second place, and they too will be advancing to the semifinals. The Lizardman team 5-1-1 is their record, and the Dead Poets currently in third place. S. Beaver's Undead team 3-4-1 is their record. And over in the hotly contested Division B, the White Skull Windbreakers drew Nuffle to see here just a few moments ago. Doug the Minotaur's Orc team, they will be advancing to the semifinals as well with a record of 6-2-0. 20 points earned in this competition. They end regulation with an undefeated record yet again. It comes down to the fourth and final spot, and that's going to be between the number 2 and the number 3 teams. Elfitus Australis up tonight. Eric's team, a Wood Elf team, 5-1-1 is their record. If they win tonight, they advance. If they do not win tonight, meaning they draw or lose, then it's going to come up. It's going to come down to the Harlequins game later this week. The Harlequins BBFC, they're in third place. BB Nuts Undead team, 4-2-1 is their record. They're going to be up against I Want to Be Like Doug this week, Richard Cranium's Dwarf team, and so if Elfitus Australis wins tonight, they advance. If they don't win tonight, then the Harlequins will advance unless they lose. Very important game up tonight to figure out what the final semifinal team is going to be. Final semifinal team? I don't like that phrase. First up, the home team, Wenger's Mr. Yuck, the community TV of 1,305,000 gold. 12 players on this roster, a fairly fresh Nurgle team. We saw Chaos Chosen play before earlier this evening. Nurgle's kind of similar. Similar sort of pieces with some pitch control skills, I would say. He has the big guy, Mr. Yuck himself, the Rot Spawn. He has 4 bloaters. These are the strength 4 pieces. These are like the Chaos Chosen blockers. 3 Pestigors and 4 linemen round out the roster. 3 dedicated fans, 3 rerolls. He cannot pick up an apothecary because he has he has the Nurgle version of regen, which is Plague Ridden. He's going to be up against this Wood Elf team tonight. Elfitus Australis, coached by newcomer Eric, dominating in this division with a record of 5-1-1. Just one loss so far. Mr. Yuck looking to make that a second one here tonight. They're coming in with a 12-player roster. Toko Chimichurri will be out this week with a serious injury. A TV of 1,225,000 gold means not a whole lot of money. 15K, nothing's going to happen in the inducement phase. 11 players on this roster, 1 oppo, 3 dedicated fans, 3 rerolls, 2 more dancers, a catcher, a thrower, and the rest are linemen. How do the two teams play tonight? I have no idea. These are 2 fresh teams. You have a Wood Elf team versus a Bashir team, right? The home team, the Nurgle team, they're the Bashir team typically, but they don't have a lot of Bashir skills to start with. So he has picked, he's picked something else up. He picked up Armbar. I have no idea what Armbar does. If an opponent marked by at least 1 player with this skill fails a dodge, leap, or jump over test, +1 is applied to the armor value or injury tests. If an opponent marked by at least 1 player with this skill fails a dodge, leap. Oh, so it's a +1 if he fails a dodge, leap, or jump over. It's like a mighty blow for a failed dodge, leap, or jump over. Okay, fair enough. He has the big guy with the Rot Spawn. Well, let's talk about these skills between the bloaters and the Rot Spawn first, right? He has Disturbing Presence and Foul Appearance. These are inhibition or pitch control skills, right? So Foul appearance means that if a block or a blitz is going to be taken against these players, a d6 has to be rolled first, and on a 1, it doesn't happen, right? You're so disgusted by their appearance that you're just not going to do it. Disturbing presence is a -1 on passes, and that includes throw teammate, that includes bombardiers on a goblin team, right? Any sort of pass, it's a -1, and it's cumulative, so it's a -1 per, and it's a -1 within a 7 square, I was going to call it a radius, it's not a radius, but a 7 square area, 7 by 7 square area. It's a range of 3, right? So he has 5 of these players, right? And he's up against a very agile team tonight. They have a passing game. They have a passing game naturally with their AG2+. They have a passing game because they have the thrower and a catcher on top of that. They have a very real passing game, so Disturbing Presence can really make or break the game tonight. And Mr. Yuck's gonna want to position, gonna want to overlay these Disturbing Presence fields so that he can maximize how many negative modifiers are going to apply to a pass, right? It's a -1 per player with Disturbing Presence that's in the zone, right? And it takes place whether they are standing or prone, right? So very important skill tonight to try to stop the passing game. Disturbing Presence can try to burn through rerolls. He has regen on, I shouldn't call it regen, it's plague ridden, but it's basically regen on absolutely everyone. And then he has Mighty Blow on a couple players. He has this new armbar skill. He has his ball carrier, Mr. Clean multi-surface. This is his Sure Hands player, and Extra Arms. Extra Arms gives him +1 to all the grabby skills, right? Or grabby actions, pickups and catches, or pass interference rolls. He gets a +1 to that. Sure Hands gives him the free reroll on the pickup, but more importantly, it's going to negate Strip Ball, which the Wood Elf team has 2 Strip Ball players. He has a tackle player and a frenzy player as well, but no block to speak of. Right, so just 2 Mighty Blow players. He has a player with Claw, he has Frenzy, and he has a decent ball carrier, but nobody with block. This is going to make block rolls really trepidatious for this otherwise bashy team. He does have the strength advantage. He has strength 5 with the big guys, strength 4 across 4 bloaters. Up against this Wood Elf team, Edge 2 across the board. The War Dancers are the star of the show, right? They come with Blodge and Leap. He has a strip ball player, he has a tackle player, he has a catcher who's a blodger, he has his thrower, he has block on Zangief, he has wrestle on Macho the Dagger, and he has strip ball on Pocho the Panther. 2 strip ball players means that the ball carrier is almost certainly going to be the Sure Hands player for the Nurgle team tonight. But the Nurgle team's up against a team that has more block, but less strength. They have more edge, right? But the Nurgle team has more pitch control. I have absolutely no idea which way this is going to go. I don't know. I have absolutely no idea. Whoever plays into their strengths the best is going to come out on top. It's not about, who's playing more solid Blood Bowl necessarily. It's not about who has the better strategy necessarily. It's whoever is playing into their strengths, because their strengths are so few and far between, right? Just because they're so fresh. Right, these are 2 teams that don't start with a lot of skills. They're fresh in this competition, so they only have the skills they could pick up in 8 weeks, right? So if the Nurgle team can leverage those control skills, maybe try to whittle away those rerolls, try to stop the passing game without having to do what you typically have to do to stop a passing game, meaning dedicate players to the receivers, right? Man up on the receivers. Pull players away from the line. Instead, you can just cross these Disturbing Presence zones. Then he can focus on taking those blocks with his strength players, maybe use those claw players, maybe decide, you know what, I'm not rolling this die because the advantage is not great, and if I lose this player, I've lost a tackle zone, and that's bad, right? So maybe he's got to consider when to take blocks, when not to take blocks. Even if he has a 2-die block, that might not be a sure thing, whereas the Wood Elf team has 4 blockers. Positioning them those players is going to be crucial. He has the strip ball players. If that ball gets knocked out of the hands or gets handed off or is forced to hand off out of the hands of the Sure Hands player, that's where those 2 strip ball elves come into play. And then Adge too, we all know that's very, very strong. The big hindrance strategically against a Wood Elf team is the fact that their players are so Well, oh boy, snowy game, snowy game. Wow, he got a blizzard. Mr. Yuck won the coin toss. We'll see if they start on offense or defense. They'll probably start on defense, I would wager. Yes, indeed, they do. Oh, no, they don't. They start off on offense. All right, so Elfitus Australis is going to get a full 11 on the pitch here. But so the Blizzard, as we're all familiar, it's a -1 on rush chests, right? Which is huge. Your rushes are a 1/6 chance of failure. Now they're a 1/3 chance. But more importantly, we were talking about that very strong passing game that these elves have. It has been made that much more difficult, right? There's a -1 in play. And it's not a -1. It's they're restricted to short passes, so they can only go up to 6 orthogonally. So just another hindrance on their passing game, which means they need to rely more heavily on their rushing game. Now, typically you do rely on your rushing game just because it's much more consistent. There are many less die rolls to rushing than there. I shouldn't call it rushing. To running than there are to passing. But it is a nice option to have in your pocket, and it's been made a little more difficult here. Now, typically when you pass, you really want to reserve it for a quick pass or a short pass anyway, but it's just another option lost. The longer the pass, the more the modifiers pile up. A quick pass is actually easier. It's a +1, and then a 0 and a -1 and -2, all the way up to a long bomb. So setting up in this W formation, 3 players wide on the defense to start this blizzard snowy game. Currently 7 on the line for Mr. Yuck. We're going to have to reconfigure that right wide zone. There's that sure hands player, Mr. Clean multi-surface. Sure hands plus the big hands, or the extra arms, I should say. It gives him a +1 on the pickup attempts. Makes them just a little bit easier. Gives him a pickup attempt that these elves would be accustomed to, a 2+. So 6 on the line. Mr. Yuck himself over in the right wide zone, the right end. An officious ref. Who has he chosen? Who has he chosen? Nobody? Windex. Oh no! Windex, one of the bloaters, out of the game. 1-man player advantage. Wow. That ref is a mean old ref. There it is. 1 player right out of the game, right from the get-go. It's been sent off the pitch. Good pickup by Mr. Clean multi-surface. Gets a knockdown on the center defensive tackle. 3 die block on that right defensive end. This will be a pal. 7+ with mighty blow. Gets a stun. .35 seconds left on the clock here in turn 1. Mr. Yuck losing a player on the kickoff event. They're going to be down a player for this drive. They do have a player in reserve. Oh, Run Bad, thank you for the raid. Welcome to the stream. Thank you very much. Don't worry, Run Bad. I have not forgotten about you. This is the final week of regulation. After our semifinals, we'll start signups for the Dungeon Ball, and I'll remind you about it then. Oh, good injury here. Thank you very much, sir. And again, thank you very much for the raid. Good removal here. So after the Elfitus ref removed his bloater, he goes in and gets an injury on turn 1. 10v10 on the pitch now. Repositioning some players just to have a little bit of protection on the ball carrier. And that'll be the turn. Turn 1 now for Elfitus Australis. Remember, Elfitus Australis, if they win tonight, they will advance to the semifinals. If they do not win, then the Harlequins, BBFC, coached by BB Nut, will have their shot to advance to the semifinals. They will just have to not lose in their game against I Want to Be Like Doug, the Dwarven team. Elfitus Australis applying some early pressure here with Cacho double quote, the number 9 lineman. All of these elves have an AG of 2+, a little fragile with an AV of 8+. Has nobody in reserve, so they'll be playing a man down for the rest of the game at least. Or at least a man down, I should say. Two-die block gets a pow on Lemon Pledge, the number 3 bloater. This is by Michael Jordan. No armor break. Bonner says it looks cold out there. Indeed. Indeed it does. Elfitus Australis probably not too happy about the blizzard. But the weather could change later. Here comes the War Dancer Blitz. 2-die blitz on that left tackle. Gets a knockdown thanks to the block seal, and he's dead! Well, is he? Yeah, he's just dead. Oh boy, turn 1, death by the War Dancer. Iron Cynic, thank you so much for the follow. I appreciate it. Thank you very, very much. SP Beaver, thank you for the bits. One second on the clock, and that'll be the turn. Turn 2, back to Mr. Yuck. BB Nut almost undoubtedly cheering for this Nurgle team here tonight. Remember, Elfitus Australis have to win to guarantee their spot in the semifinals. Even if they draw, they are not guaranteed to advance. Failed a really stupid roll with Mr. Yuck. Mr. Yuck's going to lose his action and lose his tackle zones. And Linder will have to keep that in mind. Blitz up the right wide zone on the rush. Wow! No fear. Gets the knockdown on the thrower. Can he break armor? A+ breaks armor. He cannot do it. Remember, the rushes are a 3+ instead of a 2+ in the blizzard. Advances the ball up to his own 4-yard line in the right wide zone. He'll still want to control center pitch. He doesn't want to get cornered or trapped here in the right wide zone. Takes a number of marks. Remember, the positive dodges for these Wood Elves are a 2+. Turn 2, back to Elfitus Australis. Two-man player advantage. Two-man player advantage for Elfitus Australis currently. They get a push on Toilet Duck, the number 11 lineman. Two-plus dodge to take a mark on the ball carrier. Two-die War Dancer blitz, probably inbound. Strip ball will not be in effect. Thanks to sure hands. Here it is, two-die blitz. Got the pow! The ball's gonna bounce out of the would-be cage onto the 6-yard line. Two-die blitz on the ball carrier after that failed really stupid roll. That Denver had to be mindful of that, and became a problem here. Wow, took a rush. Had to spin a re-roll here. Down to 2 re-rolls for the half. Remember, rushes are 3+. That is a big, big difference. That's a 1/6 chance now, a 1/3 chance of failure. Marks the ball with Cacho, double quote, the number 9 lineman. Wood Elves, very, very expensive players, but every player is great, right? Their linemen, fantastic. That's a lineman. That's a rookie lineman. You get MA7, strength 3, edge 2. That's fantastic. Elfitus Australis on the bonus clock. 7 minutes, 15 seconds remaining. 2+ dodge by the thrower. Mr. Yuck also has tentacles, so he can try to stop a dodge if he can position him in a very advantageous place. Good 3+ pickup by Alan Parsons, the catcher. Hands off to Cacho, double quote. And now Elfitus Australis with the ball on the opposing 8-yard line. Well done. Can they keep this ball carrier safe? They're going to have to dodge a player. And they've done just that with pitiful, the invisible, the number 10 lineman. SP Beaver says turn 2, and it already started with the elf shenanigans. Reposition Macho the Dagger as well to put tackle zones between anybody who wishes to get at this lineman. Ball carrier already in scoring position. Turn 3 for Mr. Yuck. Two-die block on Alan Parsons will be a PAL. 8+ breaks armor here. That was a blodger. Needed a PAL to knock him down. And he did. Marks the ball carrier. Can get a frenzy blitz out of this. I just don't know how he makes it nice. He'll have to mark pitiful. And it's also a blodger, so he'll need a PAL. He's just going to straight up go for it. Two-die block, a push. Will he take the push here, or will he re-roll this? He's going to take the push. Oh, boy. Oh, boy. I would have re-rolled this. That's all right. He'll get another block out of this. Currently, it's a 1-die block. You can make it a 2-die with Mr. Clean multi-surface. Moves the player in position to mark. Chicho Sneak. 2-die block gets a PAL on Chicho Sneak. This is with Mr. Yuck himself. 7+ breaks armor. Oh my goodness, the deaths! The deaths! The murder, the mayhem! 2 deaths in the game, and this is a Nurgle team. You know what this means. Grandfather Nurgle, thank you for your blessings. That player now playing for Mr. Yuck. He needed that piece. That is a piece down for the Elven team and a piece for the Nurgle team. My chicken chaser demands death. Azig, thank you so much for the follow. I appreciate it. It's very kind of you. Thanks for hanging out and watching some Blood Bowl. Mr. Yuck is mean. Mr. Yuck is green. 2+ pickup to recover the ball here. Oh, Azig, thank you very much. It's very kind of you to say. I appreciate it. I just love this game, man. This game's so great. I just want to share it with others. That's what Beaver says. What a lovely elf he is now. I didn't like him so much before, but now he's looking nice. El Numerino, thank you for the sub. Welcome to the stream, sir. Thank you very, very much. 27 bucks, my goodness. Very kind of you, I appreciate it very much. Thanks for the sub, thanks for hanging out, thanks for playing. Turn 3, back to Elfitus Australis now. Mr. Yuck recovered the ball. They're on their own 4-yard line. Mr. Beaver says, if I'm playing Wood Elves in the Dungeon Bowl, I think I need to... Or next season? Is it next season or the Dungeon Bowl? Are you going to carry Undead into the Dungeon Bowl? Says I'll need to study the film of Eric a bit. Indeed. I think that's just a wise thing to do regardless. Oh, cool. All right. Next season it is then. War Dancer blitz. 1 die blitz on the ball carrier. Rolled into a skull. Down to 1 reroll. Gets a push. Elfitus Australis down to 1 reroll. Didn't even need foul appearance to make that happen. I mean, look at this. How can you say any of these guys have a foul appearance? They're lovely, lovely folks. One die block on the ball carrier. This will work out thanks to the block skill. And ball's going to bounce back to the 4-yard line. Mr. Clean Multisurface is going to remain on the pitch. No armor break. Remember, this Wood Elf team, they are the team with the block skills. The Miracle team has not a single player with block. Elfitus Australis back on the bonus block. They have 1 reroll left for the half. Good dodge. Macho the Dagger, the Russell lineman, into position behind Scrubbing Bubbles Bubbly Bleach Gel. 2 die on Tide Pod. This will be a push. Chain push onto the ball. We'll see where the ball bounces. Anywhere but there would be preferable for Eric, I think. Wow, right into the hands of the War Dancer. Needs a 6 to catch. Won't do it. And the ball's going to bounce up to the 2-yard line. Not the best bounce after the failed pickups. Failed catches, I should say. Good 2+ dodge by Cacho, double quote, to get to safety over in that right wide zone. Turn 4 now for Mr. Yuck. They've yet to cross the line of scrimmage in this half. We're going to take a 2 die block on Alan Parsons. That's the blodger. Needs a pal to knock him down, gets a push. Very aggressive Elf defense has stopped this offense in its tracks. See if Mr. Yuck can open up a lane and get to safety. He doesn't have the speed advantage either. So if he does open up a lane, he's going to have to keep a protective contingent with him. 2-die block is a POW on Zaya Dress Angel Face. This is the thrower. Three-die block on Zangief is a POW. Needs a 7+ with Mighty Blow. He's got it. Another removal. 4 removals now for Mr. Yuck. Is a 2-man player advantage. And Nurgle very similar to a Chaos team or a Chaos Chosen team, but also fairly different, as we saw in the pregame. Good 2+ pickup by Mr. Clean Multi-Surface. Remember, he has extra arms that gives him a +1. If Mr. Yuck can get this Elven team through its final reroll, he might risk some rushes to get some distance and force Elfitus Australis to have to rush to follow up, but with no rerolls, could result in a turnover. Double skulls on Michael Jordan. Is he going to spend a reroll here? Spends a reroll into a push. Michael Jordan, the #1 war dancer, gets pushed aside. Mr. Yuck on the bonus clock. 5 minutes, 36 seconds to go. That's for the entire duration of the game. So in regulation, there's no overtime, but in single elimination, there is. That bonus clock lasts for the entire game. And it's something to keep in mind. Not just for regulation games, but when you make the cut in a competition, or if you make it to the Blood Bowl, you've really got to be careful that you don't burn that clock unnecessarily. Final turn of the first quarter coming up. Elfitus Australis, so far, doing a good job of stopping the offense. They have yet to cross the line of scrimmage. Lots of bashing, lots of smashing so far. 2 deaths. Both on the Elvish team. One coming back to life thanks to, or coming back to afterlife, I guess, thanks to Grandfather Nuffle. Now playing for Mr. Yuck. No action so far after a minute. 2-die blitz by Scottie Pippen. Gets the knockdown thanks to the block skill. Breaks armor. Gets a stun. That's the blitz spent. Scottie Pippen moving back to play defense. Doesn't want this offense to get away scot-free. What does scot-free mean anyway? I mean, I know what it means, but like, what is the etymology of it? Like, where did that saying come from? Alan Parsons and Cacho double quote to move back into position in front of the cage as well. He got away. You know what? Jeffrey. He got away. Jeffrey! 4 players now playing in the secondary now. He pulls back Garca, Morcia hot over in that right wide zone. And now Elfitus Australis back on the bonus clock. Good dodge. All those dodges, all those positive dodges are going to be a 2+ on this team. Everybody has an edge 2+. Resetting the formation after getting aggressive. A 2+ dodge on the left sideline too. New coaches, Eric, by no means a new coach, but new coaches will often, if they have a high edge team, they'll say, oh, 2+, that means I can dodge 100% of the time. That is not what that means. Even with the exactly, and this is the reason, right? Oh boy. And this is the reason, right? So even if you have a positive dodge, you want to make it better odds, right? So often you'll want to look for a 2-die block to push a player away rather than taking the 2-die dodge. You roll enough dice, you're going to fail dodges. So while it is easy for elves to dodge away, if you force a ton of elves to dodge away every turn, some of those die rolls are going to fail. Blitz to start the second quarter. Oh, final reroll to keep the drive alive. Gets a push out of this. No rerolls remaining for Mr. Yuck. Just one for Elfitus Australis. Mr. Yuck looks to be powering into the right wide zone here. We'll see. We'll see if that's the course of action. Mr. Yuck's going to slither into spot, marking the number 9 line dancer. Line dancer? I'm pretty sure that's the second time I've said line dancer. The number 9 lineman. And Michael Jordan, the number 1 war dancer. Oh, try to 3+ dodge by Magnets. Fail the dodge. And that'll be a turnover. Turn 5 for Elfitus Australis. Oh boy. Fail the dodge here. A 2+ dodge fails it. He'll have to spend the reroll. He's like, oh, does this matter? Let's see if Tentacles works out here. This is your strength plus your die roll minus your opponent's strength. And if you get a 6, it works out, and there it is. He got it. Natural 6s always succeed as well. So even though he spent the reroll on the dodge, but Tentacles succeeded, so he can't actually get out of the way. Here's the blitz. 2-die blitz. Got the pal. Got the pal. 9+ will break armor here. We'll see where the ball bounces. Iron Cynic, welcome to the stream. Ball bounces back to the 4-yard line. Currently marked by Scrubbing Bubbles bubbly bleach gel. The number 10 lineman. 3+ pickup here. Works out. Good 2+ dodge away. Does he want to take a 3+ rush? I don't think so. And so now the ball once again in the hands of the Elvish team. That's the power of the Tentacles that we were talking about. If you can get a good mark on a number of players with your Rot Spawn, it'll keep them right in place. Turn 6 now for Mr. Yuck. They can have a surf. They could have a surf opportunity, but it's a rush. 3, 4, 5, 6. It'd be 2 rushes, in fact. And remember, the rushes are 3+ and no re-rolls. Yeah, he's not going to risk that. Oh, he is going to risk that. Von Roo, thank you very much for the bits. He risked the rush. It didn't work out. Got KO'd for his trouble. Turn 6 now for Elfitus Australis. They're 1 dodge away. And there it is. Oh, is it a rush to get in? It's a rush to get in. They don't have a reroll. They don't have a reroll. SP Beaver graciously failed. SP Beaver graciously lowered the rush failure rate from the rules mandated 900% to a paltry, a measly, a cheating 99%. Did I block a Mr. Yuck? Will be a POW. Big 10+ to break armor here. But more importantly, Mr. Yuck's going to stay put. Even if he was unmarked at the end of this turn, 3 MA to stand up means just 1 MA to move. Two-die blitz gets the knockdown on Lemon Pledge. Can he get the 10+? plenty of movement left with Scottie Pippen. This is going to free up Garka Morsiahat, the number 11 lineman, on the right sideline. Turn 7 for Mr. Yuck. Oh boy. Now they are in some danger. Mr. Yuck was on offense at the beginning of this half. They're in danger of going down 0-1. And then the Elf team will be on offense in the second half. Mr. Yuck taking a whole slew of marks. Stands up. Mr. Yuck himself. He's the big guy, the route spawn. Currently marking Cacho double quote. And he's going to go for the rush blitz. Oh, got through the rush. One die blitz from the straight back direction. That's not gonna do it. That's gonna be a touchdown. He's gonna force the touchdown here. 1-0. Elfitus Australis will be taking the lead in this game. he just showboats, he just dives. Mr. Yuck gets back their KO. But Elfitus Australis does not, just a handful, it took not even a handful. One turn left in this half after the score. Elfitus Australis will be on defense once again. Oh, that's right, he picked up the extra player. Thanks to Nurgle. 3-man player advantage on this very short drive. SB Beaver says it should be a penalty to showboat and you're shoved in there. It'd be neat if there was like a second way to score. I mean, I don't know how that would screw up the balance of the game. It would screw it up significantly. Like, but if there was like a field goal option or something, where you can get half points, or whatever, TDs are 2 points and field goals are 1 point or something. I mean, there are uprights. Like, they have uprights. Elfitus Australis, they're going to send a bunch of players way back by the end zone. They have to put 3 on the line. El Numerino says, that might be enough to get me to take a kicker. Here's the kick, middling kick, brilliant coaching. Who gets the reroll? It's going to be Mr. Yuck. Gets the reroll. Elfitus Australis has an assistant coach. Where is that guy? There he is. You can see him right there. 3-die block on the right defensive end. Gets a pal here by Mr. Yuck. 7+ breaks armor. No armor break. KG Moose. Welcome to the stream. KG Moose reminding me, the uprights are there. So players can be tied and flogged. Oh, of course. Knocked out on the blitz, doesn't get anything out of it here. Going for the foul. Doesn't get called off the pitch. Had 5 assists on that foul. That brings the AV down to a 3+ effectively. Only got a stun out of it, so it's not going to matter. Oh, wow. I thought for sure you passed that ball. No pass attempt. Turn 8 now for Elfitus Australis. Trying to blitz down Toilet Duck with double skulls. Will he stay on the pitch? Will Michael Jordan stay on the pitch? He will. He'll be back to see another day. He'll be back to see another drive. A kind sir, welcome to the stream. Thanks for hanging out. 1-0 the score. Elfitus Australis will be on offense to start. They will be at a 2-man player disadvantage. So 2-man player advantage for Mr. Yuck. And Mr. Yuck now has an elf playing for their team. There he is, Chicho Sneak, the number 13 lineman, formerly of Elfitus Australis, has decided the ways of Nurgle. That's the way to go. Mr. Yuck, now remember, the bloaters have a disturbing presence. That is giving a... That extends 3 squares, right? So 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. So that's the zone for disturbing presence. And he has 3 of those players on the pitch. Doesn't matter if the players are standing or prone. He'll try to keep those players spread out across the pitch, but overlapping where it matters to try to stop the passing game, and then he can dedicate more players to stopping the running game. If Elfitus Australis gets another touchdown, it'll be real hard to stop them. Unless, of course, Mr. Yuck just murders the rest of the team. Five on the line for the defense. They're giving up both sidelines. 5 on the line for the offense as well. Spread very, very wide, giving up center pitch. Here's the kick. No kicker for Mr. Yuck. Rolls a 2 on the D3. 5 players can move 1 space here on the quick snap. Takes a mark over in the left wide zones. It's marking the number 8 Pestigor, level 2. Magnets being marked by the thrower. Shuffle some players around. That'll be the end of the quick snap event. The ball's going to be kicked to the 18 and bounce a space. Bounces forward to the 16. Turn 9 now. Third quarter. Gets underway here. With that quick snap result, will get a blitz in the left wide zone. 2-die blitz. Only gets a push out of it with Scottie Pippen. Scottie Pippen, the tackle war dancer. Tackle will not be in effect for this team this evening. There is nobody with dodge on the opposing team. Michael Jordan pulls back a couple of spaces to mark the ball. After week 9, we are going to have our cut to top 4. It'll be the semifinals. The top 2 teams of each division will advance. They will be seeded as if they all played in one big division. It's a single elimination bracket, so we'll have 2 semifinals and our finals, and after that we'll open up registration for the Dungeon Bowl. It's open to anyone who wishes to participate, whether you've played Blood Bowl before or not. We're a friendly bunch. We just love Blood Bowl, man. It's such a ton of fun. And you come play with us. If you wish, you can hang out in our Discord and just say, "Hey, I want to play with you in the Dungeon Bowl, the upcoming Dungeon Bowl," and I'll put you on my list. I have a list of players to remind when registration opens already. I'll put you on the list, and when registration opens, I'll send you a message and tell you how registration works. It's pretty easy, and we'll get our Dungeon Bowl underway, our 3rd open competition of this season. Turn 9 now for Mr. Yuck. Ball in the hands of Alan Parsons on Elfitus Australis' own 12-yard line. We have 2 rerolls for the rest of the game. Blitz on Garca. Morcia hot. Gets a pal. 8+ breaks armor. Mr. Yuck with a 2-man player advantage. Ajax Powder Cleanser continues to move and marks Macho the Dagger. Only an MA4 player. Real risk of being left behind. He's going to try to tie down 2 players with Mr. Yuck. Remember, Mr. Yuck has the tentacles. His tentacles is going to be a D6 plus his strength, which is strength 5, minus the opposing strength, which is currently a strength 3. So it's a +2 to the die roll currently. And if you roll a 6, either modified or natural, then the player will stay in place. Getting very aggressive on this defense. He's up against this Elvish team who's a lot faster than he is. He'll need to keep a secondary in place. Toilet Duck currently the safety. Repositioning to mid-pitch. 23 seconds left on the clock for Mr. Yuck now. And that'll be the turn. Turn 10 to Elfitus Australis. Again, if you're just joining us, if Elfitus Australis wins tonight, they take the final spot in the semifinals. They will advance. Otherwise, BB Nuts, Harlequins, BBFC, they will have a shot to advance to the semifinals. They will have to simply not lose against the Dwarven team. I want to be like Doug. Pushed by Scottie Pippen in the left wide zone. It's going to be a follow-up block on Magnets. Gets the pal this time. Tries to get away. We'll see if he can get away from these tentacles. He can. Gets the knockdown. Does not break armor. With the snow white dice, appropriate for this game. Oh man, Necro comes out in just 2 days, don't they? Excited to see Necro finally in the game. 33 seconds left on the clock here for Elfitus Australis. They shift this ball over in the left wide zone. They're on their own 12-yard line now. Faster, more agile team. When it comes time to score, they'll just be looking to open up a hole and keep the ball protected for a turn. If they can do that, they will more than likely be able to break free and score. Failed the dodge. Is he going to spend a reroll on this or not? I think maybe not. Yeah, let that rock. Turn 10 back to Mr. Yuck. We're down 0-1 currently. I had a friend of mine tell me this weekend that they didn't have ketchup in their kitchen. Who doesn't have ketchup? I feel like ketchup is just a thing that comes with kitchens. Like ketchup just exists. Everyone has ketchup. How do you not have ketchup? Two die blitz on the ball carrier. This will not work out. This is a blodger. Alan Parsons needs a pal to knock him down. Frenzy follow-up. Fails the rush. It's a 3+ due to the snow. It's going to use the reroll. Gets through to another push. SB Beaver says it's not like mustard. No one should have that. It's exactly like mustard. And everyone should have both. Took the blitz on the ball carrier with the frenzy player. Got a couple of pushes back. Was not able to get the pal he was looking for. Breaks armor with Mr. Yuck. Good stun here. Two-die block on Macho the Dagger gets a push. Decides to follow up and keep Macho marked. Macho, the Russell player. What does he have in his hand? It's like a claw or something. Mr. Yuck back on the bonus clock with 5 minutes, 17 seconds. The advanced Lemon Pledge, the injured number 3 bloater, forward. Now he's covering mid-pitch with that disturbing presence. Ketchup, mustard, mayonnaise. They should all be in the kitchen somewhere. Did I block? This will be a push. When I was a kid, I loved Miracle Whip, which is like mayonnaise with some sort of seasoning. And then I tried it like a decade ago, and I'm like, oh, I don't know how I ever ate this stuff. Turn 11 for Elfitus Australis. Elfitus Australis in the lead here. Von Roo says Miracle Whip is quote-unquote salad dressing. Okay. It is gross. I don't know. I loved it as a kid. But, yeah, it is pretty gross. I don't know what I was thinking. Dodges away to take a mark on OxiClean Versatile Stain Remover. These names. Good 3+ dodge. Dodged into a tackle zone. That's a 3+ dodge, but now has 2 assists with Michael Jordan. It's a 2-die block against the number 5 bloater. Blitz on the left side. It's a knockdown thanks to the block skill. Tide Pod. Player marking the ball carrier gets knocked down. Was that a rush? That wasn't a rush. Scottie Pippen is going to continue moving all the way and retreats back to the 20-yard line. He's setting up the pocket right here. Yep, that's exactly what he's doing. The ball will move laterally over into the right wide zone now on the 16-yard line. And there's that 2-die block on Oxaclean. Gets the knockdown here. What? What is happening? Failed dodge here. Why is Chicho's sneak dead? What am I missing? KO'd after the failed dodge. Turn 11 back to Mr. Yuck. Been very aggressive. Well, not, I shouldn't say very. They've been fairly aggressive with their defense. We saw the Elvish team pretty aggressive with their defense in the first half, and it worked out. They scored. Mr. Yuck has gone in hard here, even though they are less agile, less fast. They do have a secondary in place. The Elves are just kind of stalling, moving back and forth, but they are eating blocks in the meantime. Mr. Yuck has got to slither into place and mark Scottie Pippen. So while Scottie Pippen has a 2+ dodge, remember Tentacles is in play, and it's a +2 to the Tentacle roll. Tentacles means if the Tentacle roll succeeds, the dodge doesn't, or rather the player will stay in place. 2-die blitz on Cacho double quotes. Gets a push here. Decides not to follow up, doesn't want to remain marked. Mr. Clean Multisurface is going to come up and play cornerback over in the right wide zone here, covering the right sideline. That's what I played in high school. Well, defensive back, I guess. Sometimes I was a safety. I was a defensive back. My first varsity play, I was a running back, and it was an inside run. Broke a vein, which is not as gross as it sounds. It's just a big bruise. Broke a vein in my wrist. The doctor was like, "You're out for the game." And then ever since then, I was a defensive back. Turned 12 now for Elfitus Australis. Just took a face mask right to my wrist. Mr. Clean Multisurface marks for the 2-die blitz coming up. That'll work out due to the block skill. Well done. One more space of movement with Michael Jordan. Gets him off the sideline. He's opened up a lane down the right sideline now, but can he keep the player safe if he dedicates himself to it? This is how he's going to try to do it. Garka Morcia Hot repositions to block Magnets. Magnets is here. If the ball ends up here, then he wants to go this way. That's why he repositioned. Crosses the line of scrimmage now with the catcher, Alan Parsons, on the opposing 2-yard line in the right wide zone. Just needs a turn. He can keep the ball carrier safe for a turn. He's got 8 MA. 3+ dodge fails over in the left wide zone. Is he going to spend a reroll in this? He will not. And that is a stunned thrower. Final turn of the third quarter coming up. Mr. Yuck. They are down a touchdown. Elfitus Australis, 4 turns away from advancing to the semifinals. Toilet Duck and Chicho Sneak, the 2 linemen. Yeah, there's Chicho. Do they just leave it? I don't understand. That's Chicho Sneak. Anyway, moves it back into the secondary just to have some players in position to try to defend against this catcher. Failed 3+ dodge. Oh. We decided to re-roll that. Failed the dodge a second time. And that's turn 13. So he might set up on the side. Oh boy. He might set up on the sideline. I'm not sure. No, he's going to stay off the sideline. So the ball carrier advances to the 18. He decides to stay off the sideline. So it's a GFI or a rush on the blitz. But he'll mark at least one of these players, probably 2. Knocks down Mr. Clean multi-surface. Michael Jordan, not enough movement to mark one of these linemen. It doesn't need to. Yeah, it's a GFI, or I'm going to say GFI forever. It's a rush on the blitz already, and this is even better, right? Because that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Now he can't get there. The only way he can get to the ball carrier now is with a dodge if he wants it to be a blitz. Failed dodge over in the right wide zone behind the line of scrimmage. Spends the reroll. No more rerolls for Elfitus Australis, but they might not need it if they score in this upcoming turn. Successful use of tentacles, but Scottie Pippen already really out of the drive. Turn 13 now for Mr. Yuck. Big turn for Mr. Yuck if they're going to stop Elfitus Australis from winning this game. Three die block on Scottie Pippen gets the POW here. 7+ breaks armor. Scottie Pippen with 20 SPP, saving up for that characteristic. Like, I think he has enough now at this point. He's going to take the blitz on Karka Morcia Hot. He got the POW. He got the POW. Does that mean he's going to rush on the Alan Parsons? Breaks armor. Got a stun. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Oh boy. Has a reroll. Rushes are 3+. 2, 3, 4. Oh, fans the rush. Boy. Oh, man. He went for 2 rushes to get in optimal position. No rerolls left for either team in this ball game. 9 seconds on the clock. Players peppered all the way down the length of the pitch, just in case this ball gets knocked loose. Another rush to mark Michael Jordan. He's going to force this Elvish team to roll as many dice as possible. They have no re-rolls left. Probably stand-up magnets as well. Has a couple of bloaters to reposition. On the bonus clock, 3 minutes 53 seconds remain. Will he mark Pitiful the Invisible? Oh, he can't get there, can he? 3, 4. He can get there. Does take the mark. And now going for the foul. The rush foul with 1 assist. Doesn't get anything out of it. Does not get called off the pitch. That'll be the turn. Big turn coming up. Turn 14. Elfitus Australis trying to put this ball game away and earn their spot in the semifinals. Can they do it? Let's see. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. It's one dodge right now. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. They're gonna blitz. Double skulls on the blitz! Wow! Oh, no! No! Oh, the apothecary will absolutely be spent on that and will save Michael Jordan's life. Wow! Sandbox JJ, welcome to the stream. Whoa, rolled double skulls on the blitz, killed himself, and now the 2-die block on Alan Parsons. He needs a pal here. He got to push. He still has his blitz. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Oh, here we go. He's going to try to surf Alan Parsons. Just needs the push. He got it. Well done. Boy, what a turn. Ball's going to be thrown back into the pitch, but where? That is no good. That is no good for Mr. Yuck. I think the best he can do here is get a mark on the ball with Lemon Pledge. And then mark the thrower, perhaps. SB Beaver with the emergency rush warning. Thank you for the bits. Blackwolf 82, Cobblestorm, PB, Moob 09. Welcome to the stream. Thanks for hanging out. Eric trying to secure his spot in the semifinals. Has 2 more turns to hold out. Currently in the lead 1-0, but no rerolls remaining. Mr. Yuck taking their time here on turn 14. They decide not to mark the ball with that bloater. Instead, they're going to mark the thrower. Pestigore is going to take a mark on Cacho double quote. 2-die block on Pitiful the Invisible will be a knockdown. 8+ will break armor. No armor break. Mr. Yuck has to have a plan to get this ball down pitch. We'll have to end turn 15 in scoring position. He is there right now. Good 3+ dodge away to get a mark on the ball. No rerolls for either team. Turn 15 for Elfitus Australis now. Penultimate turn of the ball game. They're in the lead 1-0. KG Moose says, entertaining finish to this match. Indeed it is. And potentially big. If Elfitus Australis does not win, they are not guaranteed to advance. Failed the dodge. Failed the dodge. That's a turnover. Turn 15 now for Mr. Yuck. There's an opposing player marking the ball. They've got to get this ball down pitch. And they got to do it in a hurry. Here we go. Mr. Yuck with 2:07 left on the bonus clock. They have a minute 27 left on the turn clock. No rerolls, no resources of any kind remaining. Blitz on Gargahat. Oh, the rush blitz! The audacity gets a pow! What's the play? Is he going to try to pick it up with Mr. Clean multi-surface and hand off? Hand off and then perhaps pass. Mr. Clean multi-surface has sure hands. Nope. Nope. Oh, no! Holy moly, failed pickup. That's a turnover. Turn 16 for Elfitus Australis. They got to make this as hard as possible for this Nurgle team to score, or perhaps score themselves. Mark everyone, mark everything, and pray to Nuffle. SPVer says, can Nurgle score now? They absolutely can score now. It's a long shot, but I mean, we've seen long shots before. Failed dodge. All right, turn 16 for Mr. Yuck. Moves their knights, has one quick short passes. Remember, indeed, that's 6 spaces. So that means Magnets. Magnets is probably the one to pick up the ball. 1, 2, probably here. So I think Magnets is the one to pick up the ball. Oh god, the rush is scaring me. Or the blitz is scaring me. Gets a pal. To pass to Pine Sol, I think is the play. And then Pine Sol hands off to Tide Pods to score. I think that's the best play. Magnets to pick up the ball. Pass to Pine Sol. That's 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. No, he's got to do the dodge. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Because he needs to get here and here. He's got to dodge. Oh no, he doesn't. He gets 6 away. He needs to get here. Oh, it's not going to work with a failed pickup. That will be the ball game. Elfitus Australis advances to the semifinals with a victory here tonight, 1-0. Well done, well played. What a ball game that was to witness. Man, oh man. Oh my goodness, my heart was up in my throat. And there you have it. Our final 4 teams will be Dead Fred's Real American Heroes, a Dark Elf team, Cenozoic Park, Nick Satan's Lizardman team, Doug the Minotaurs, White Skull Windbreakers, an Orc team, and of course Eric's Wood Elf team, Elfitus Australis. They have earned their spot in the semifinals. That'll be the final four. The top four going into the semifinals. We still have week 9 to play out. The games still matter, of course. There's SPP to be gained. The Dungeon Bowl is coming up. Some teams have earned their spot in the Blood Bowl already. They've got to build their teams for the Blood Bowl. So all these games matter. And coming up next, we have another doubleheader tomorrow night, starting this is tomorrow, June 10th, starting at 8:30 p.m. Eastern Daylight Time. That's UTC -4. That's going to be Maximum Boncito versus Stairway to Nuffle, Malik versus El Nubarino. That will be Lizards versus Underworld. And then immediately following that game, scheduled for 10 o'clock p.m. tomorrow night, that will be we'll have the Juxtaposed Juggernauts versus Street Fighters Turbo Max, War Horseman versus Ian. That's a Chaos Renegade mirror match. 2 games will be unaired and 1 game left to schedule. I Want to Be Like Doug versus Harlequins BBFC. That'll be Richard Cranium versus BB Nut. Dwarves versus Undead. All bound to be great games. I had an absolute blast tonight. And I hope you guys did too. Thanks for hanging out. I very much appreciate it. I love this game. I hope you love this game. 1 game left to schedule in week 9, and when that game gets scheduled, you'll be able to check out and get alerted to that schedule on our website at maml.club. That's maml.club. Here on Twitch, or on our social media pages on Blue Sky, Twitter, and Facebook. You can also watch previous games on our YouTube channel. Play Blood Bowl, man. This game is awesome. You can play Blood Bowl via Blood Bowl 3 on Steam, the Epic Game Store, PlayStation, and Xbox, and in tabletop form at your friendly local game store until tomorrow night at 8:30 p.m. Eastern Daylight Time. Take care, everybody, and enjoy the rest of your weekend.